Today, it's cheap versus expensive Yamaha APX Acoustic Edition. Stick around. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name is Chris McKee.
And I'm Cooper Greenberg.
And we're here with Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn on notifications, like our videos, all that good stuff. Check out our spring store where all of our cool swag. And if you want to check out a podcast, it's called the Fretboard Confessional, wherever you get your podcasts. So this is a popular comparison series. We've done a number of these cheap versus expensive. This is actually a pretty good one because we are comparing Yamaha's APX600 to the APX1200 II, 2 Roman numeral 2 lowercase. I don't know. Anyway.
Aye, Captain.
Aye. But yeah, APX600 versus APX1200. Now, the numbers are twice as much. Is the price twice as much?
No.
No, it's more than that, isn't it? So this sells for about $339 currently. Check alamomusic.com for latest pricing. Cooper, how much is the APX1200?
This one's about $13.59.
$13.59.
The 600 is $339. The 1200 is $13.59. That's all you need to know.
So it's more than $1,000 more. Great comparison for our cheap versus expensive. So let's talk about what these are. The APX series represent very small-bodied acoustic electric guitars designed for the player that is used to playing on a stage, typically on an electric guitar. They're used to playing something that's close to the body and comfortable to hold. Yamaha designed these guitars to fit that need. Okay, so it's kind of a niche acoustic guitar. They did not design this for Appalachia, for the bluegrass extraordinaire player. No. But, you know, if you can swing bluegrass on it, more power to you. So this typically is going to be, well, we sell a lot of the APX600 to people who are starting out, people who want a small body guitar but have a full scale length. They don't want something that's just a shrunken down travel size guitar. And someone who just wants kind of a small body, you know, and yeah, some people that, you know, play electric and need an acoustic every once in a while, and they want that feel in that smaller body.
Also, with the amount of APX, like the flame top ones that I mean, there's some cool designs, some cool colors. There's a little guy, there's the little tiny APX.
Yeah, it's the APX2 something.
It almost
that is a travel guitar.
I'm like, everybody in the world's got one of these because they go out all the time.
We sell a ton of
them. Because they're cool. They're something a little different. I think the thin body is what really appeals to a lot of people.
Yeah, it is a thin, shallow body, and it is a small body. So to give you reference, if you own certain guitars, it comes nowhere near the size of a Dreadnought or even like a Grand Auditorium body, and they're smaller and thinner than a GS Mini. I'd say it's maybe bigger. It's shallower than a Baby Taylor maybe, but a little bit bigger body-wise than like a Baby Taylor or a Little Martin. So they're small guitars, but it's a full-scale neck. So, you know, the body, would you say it's about the size of a Tele body? I mean, it's thicker.
Yeah, definitely like around that size. I think even just at the waist here, it comes in a little bit, you know, but.
So yeah, very shallow, very small, very comfortable, lightweight, chuckable. It's got a nice feel to the neck. That's kind of the wheelhouse for this guitar. They all come with built-in electronics. Something we should talk about. This is kind of a basic preamp piezo system that has some.
Got the SRT system in here.
It's got some
kicked up
modeling on it of like Neumann microphones and things like that. And you can tell from the appearance that there's a lot different between these guitars. You know, that has some very fancy pearl and abalone inlay coming up the fretboard, nice binding on the body.
Is that Koa binding or what's that wood on there?
That's a good question. I didn't see that spec listed. I can tell you it's a solid East Indian rosewood body. It's a select solid spruce top. APX bracing is all they'll really say. It's some kind of scalloped, cantilevered, whatnot bracing. It's very well put together inside that guitar. This guitar is also, you know, very well put together. No big glue blobs or anything like that, like you might expect in a lower price guitar. We've always known Yamaha to have high quality in their construction. But basic dot inlays on this one, a nice abalone. Yeah, I'm sure it's not real abalone. inlaid on there. Looks real nice.
So, one
NATO back and sides.
NATO back and sides, a solid spruce top.
No.
Not a solid spruce
All
top.
laminate.
All
All
laminate.
laminate construction.
That's interesting. I think typically around that price point, you should be getting a solid top.
And it's true, you do. In fact, if you look at the Yamahas in the FG line at this price point, it is a solid spruce top. So I think there was a decision made of how this is focused. And particularly if you're trying to play on stage and at amplified sounds, sometimes not having a solid spruce top is a good thing. You know, you're really utilizing the pickup here, and you don't want that resonance to create feedback for you. So keep that in mind. They've created a solution for this one. With this guitar in its hard shell case, it comes with a oval APX sound hole sized feedback.
Interesting.
What's it called? It's a feedback buster?
Feedback buster.
There you go. Listen, Buster, we're going to stop your feedback. So.
Let me give you a little feedback, all right?
So,
yeah, and then tuner-wise, I mean, you got some buttons on here.
Basic
You
chrome.
got buttons on there.
Yeah, basic chrome buttons like you've seen on a bunch of other stuff. Those are ebenoid looking, so they're like plastic ebony looking gold tuners. And they feel nice. Yeah.
It's the ebenoid right there. Paranoid, ebenoid.
Like the Noid from Domino's. So all in all, I mean, the aesthetics on that are definitely up, kick up the notch, whatever I'm trying to say. They're nicer appointments with better hardware, better pickup system, all solid wood construction, nice inlays, a hard shell case. The question is it worth $1,000 more? So
let's find out.
Let's find out. Put on your best headphones, earbuds, or speakers and take a listen to this comparison. there you have it. So you've heard for yourself what an APX that costs $1,000 more sounds like. Well, through YouTube anyway. So your thoughts, I'll give mine after.
I mean, I think the hardest part for me is knowing that this guitar is priced like the same as a red label, which we just, like a Japanese made red label. This is not made in Japan, this is made in China.
Right.
I think that if you are looking for a high, $1,000 to $2,000 acoustic guitar that is all solid wood, this would not be your first choice. If you love the vibe of your APX600 and it is the guitar for you and it feels good, but you're ready for a step up, you want something with all solid wood, this is obviously going to be the best choice. There's not a ton of $1,500 thin-line acoustic guitars that are, I mean, it's in a world of its own.
Very niche.
Yeah. But for me, I don't know if I would spend $1,300 or more than that on this.
Yeah, so what's interesting, I went online and I read a lot of very positive reviews from both guitars, from people who have purchased them and are enjoying their guitars. Now, I've done a rundown with the APX600 in the past, and here's what I've always said about it. I think it is a very good stage guitar at the price point if that's what you're needing. Again, it's a niche use, but it works in that particular case. It feels good. It's one of the better playing kind of $300 guitars as far as the scale length and the playability goes. From an acoustic standpoint, you don't get a lot of volume out of it. And you wouldn't expect to if you really understand what's going on with the specs. I mean, it's a small, thin body guitar that's all laminate construction. None of that says this is going to be loud and resonant and full sounding, right? So it really is a guitar that's designed to be a specific compromise so that someone can be comfortable playing it on stage, playing it amplified, playing it loud volumes without dealing with a ton of feedback. And when you're not playing it on stage, you have enough acoustic volume for yourself. That's really what it's about. The APX1200 takes that recipe and it ups the ante by creating a body that's all solid wood. And so just simply by having the solid top construction, you're getting more volume, more resonance out of the build. And then by adding solid back and sides, you're going to get more resonance. You're going to get those overtones from rosewood. You're going to get a nice tone. But again, you're not going to get a lot of volume. And that's what I experienced playing both of these guitars. This was relatively quiet guitar. I didn't really lay into it because I just knew that's all you're going to get out of it. And if you're sitting on the couch, you're playing at home, and then you want to take that guitar you've been practicing on and perform on stage, it's perfect for that. Same thing with the APX1200. It has more volume than this guitar does, but if you were trying to play in just an acoustic set with some other people that were on larger acoustic instruments, it's not going to happen. It's very much like trying to fight in an acoustic circle between people playing Martin Dreadnoughts and you've got a little Martin. No one's going to hear what you're playing. The size of the instrument is going to inhibit it from being loud. And so again, the design of these guitars is a compromise to give you something that will serve you acoustically when you need it and give you amplification when you want to step on stage and perform with something that's small and comfortable. I will say the pickup options on that and having modeling really, delivers a lot more value there as well. If you wanted to do something similar with an APX600, you're looking at least $400 of off-board gear to try to accomplish some of those same things. Now, as I said before, I do worry that some of the compromises of these designs that they were trying to go for, which is to fight feedback, kind of gets undone the minute you add a solid top to it because it's more resonant, but it's still such a thin body that it will be more feedback resistant than a big bodied guitar would in a loud live setting. So
that's fair. I mean, I don't think we don't even have to mention this one. It feels
great.
Yeah, it does feel really good. I'm trying to think. I mean,
I will say actually the setup on that is impeccable. More so than an FGX5 that we played. So it's made in China, but they paid a lot of attention to the setup on that, and it plays as well as some really high end Taylors and stuff out of the box. So
I think that
playability is great.
If you're looking for an entry level guitar, I would throw the APX600 in there with like your FG800. You know, within that price range, everything that Yamaha makes is pretty competitive in terms of it's then just about the feel of what you're getting. This is not going to have as much sound, but if you want something comfortable like that, if you're looking for a higher end Yamaha, I think this gets beaten by Red Label, the A series, the L series. You know, this is not what I would point somebody towards for a higher end Yamaha. But there is going to be that player that just wants something.
Well, and I'll challenge you in that
comfortable,
one respect. So consider yourself, okay? When you play live with an acoustic guitar,
Yeah,
nobody hears your guitar. They hear your pickup, right?
that's true.
And that is just the fact of the matter for most of us who play acoustic electric guitars plugged in. Unless you have a microphone system or you have, expensive off-board equipment where you are really nuancing and maximizing the sound of that pickup system to sound like the natural sound of your acoustic guitar, it's an age-old struggle. And so there is a counter argument to be said that if you are performing regularly live on stage and you want something that looks good, that's maybe not as precious as a custom guitar or something like that, and isn't going to be feedback prone, you're going to be able to play this plug-in and be comfortable and get that same effective under saddle pickup sound, but with more options. If all you have is a basic preamp, this one has your built-in onboard preamp with modeling and stuff. And so there's an argument that could be made that in some cases, this is the better giggable guitar than some of those other ones would be. So
It's a fair point.
yeah.
But it's up to you.
But yeah, you should go in knowing that it will excel at that, at the compromise of being very loud and full from an acoustic standpoint. So is it $1,000 better than this guitar? That's debatable. I think there's a lot there just with the wood construction that's going to increase that. I don't know how much more expensive it is to manufacture the preamp that's in there, but it is more expensive. You do get a case with it, which is really nice, and a feedback buster. So certainly aesthetic-wise and some of the features, it's causing it to be more expensive. And it plays phenomenally. So is it worth $1,000? Probably not. Worth more? Definitely. Would I buy it? No, it doesn't suit my needs at all. Neither of these guitars do. But I think for the right person, it could be a stellar option. So I'd like to know y'all's options though. Like, have you ever been in that situation where you're playing acoustic, it's plugged in, you're fighting feedback, and yeah, that guitar sounds great at home, but it sounds terrible at every other gig, every church, every coffee shop, every bar, whatever that you're playing in, is something like this, does it make you go, maybe that could work.
Things that make you go,
Yeah. We're starting a new venture. It's called CNC Music Factory.
Factory. That's good for me.
We're going to make you sweat till you bleed. All right. So let us know your comments. Do you own either of these guitars? Have you experienced any of these guitars? Have you ever seen one of these APX1200s in the wild before? Because this was really one of the first times I've played one. Yeah. So let us know your comments below and your thoughts on our little discussion here. And if you're new to our channel, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, like our videos. Remember, the best guitar in the world is the one you're playing. However you're playing it, keep doing so, and we'll see you next time.